Good morning, good morning. Thursday, August 31st, 7 a.m. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you all are having a great day. Welcome back to the 10K to $2 million funding challenge. Here we are, sponsored by the Bespoke Funding Program. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of that discount code, Venator. You should be. It's a great deal. You get 15% off. You get an 85% lifetime profit split on any challenge with Bespoke Funding Program. So one of the best in the biz right now, and I'm happy to be partnered with them and happy that they're sponsoring the stream. Tomorrow we will be giving a 10K account challenge away from Bespoke Funding to one of the viewers here on the stream. So that's happening at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll wait for NFP to hit. We'll let all that clear out. And then we'll have some fun with our 10K account giveaway. So that's happening tomorrow. Today, more Red Folder news at 8:30. So we're probably just chilling and watching and waiting until that all settles down. And then we'll see, man, I have been working on, I told y'all I've been doing a strategy, building a strategy on FX replay. I've been quiet behind the scenes. I haven't been talking about it, but my goodness. It is, it's a completely mechanical. It's not, well, I can't say that. There's very, very little discretion. There are very clear rules to follow. And I can tell you that I am almost ready to take it live and test it with live trading. And I'm very optimistic about how it is turning out right now. So I started one way, changed, started another way, changed. I've changed about 4 or 5 different things, and I finally have settled in on the thing that has, through refinement and tweaking. There's a couple more rules I need to go back and filter through to see if I tweak this rule or that rule, if how it changes the win rate and risk reward ratio, all that kind of stuff. So there is a static risk reward. I'll tell you this, there's a static risk reward ratio of 1 to 3. My last 2 runs on FX replay, following the rules, strictly following the rules, hold on, let me look. What are the analytics? All right, so it's got a 54% win rate. I haven't finished this last test. I had to stop yesterday, and I didn't finish this last test. Well, here, let me just show you. Here's what we're working with. This is a $10,000 account. Now, it says average risk reward of 1.92 because there is a rule. There is a rule that says if you don't hit 1 to 3, that you have to close the trade by 2 p.m. New York time. So if you're in profit, no matter if you're in profit, if you're in drawdown, it doesn't matter where you are at 2 p.m. New York time, you close the trade. So there are a few trades where you don't get a full 1 to 3, and it gets to the afternoon and you just close the trade wherever you are. And so sometimes that's 1 to 2. So that's going to bring the average, the static 1 to 3 down. But overall, it's just, it ends up being a 1 to 2. You can see we've taken 58 total trades so far. Yeah, I'm very excited about the strategy here. So you can see we've had 31 winners, 27 losers. The average loss is not even my full 2% because I'm still risking 2% per trade. But you can see that if sometimes you're going to get into a trade and it doesn't hit your stop loss and you close it at 2 p.m. Eastern. So you're going to close it for a smaller loss than a full loss or even close to break even. So it actually brings down your average loss, but you are risking 2%. The average losing streak is 2.63. The max losing streak is 4, which is, you know me, that's the golden. If I can find me a strategy that has a max losing streak of 4, awesome. You can see the max win streak. Look at that win streak, max win streak of 7. It's beautiful. The average win streak, you're going to win 3 to 4 in a row on average when you're on a streak. The average win is almost 3%, and yeah, your best win is 6% because I'm risking 2, and a 1 to 3 is a 6% gain on one win. One win, 6%. The average duration is about 3 hours to hold a trade. And so far we're still 50. I need to finish out this. But when I finish out this simulation, it will be probably about 150, 160 trades, I'm guessing, by the time I'm done. This is just from January of this year through, I'm going all the way up through August of where we are currently, current price action. And here you go. So here's your profitable days and your negative days. So most profitable day is obviously Thursday, but I mean, you can see it's very consistent. Very consistent. Fridays, not so much. I got to figure out what's going on with Fridays. And here is your January, your February, your March, and April. So that's how far we are up. Here's January. These are profits. So you can see we had a couple losers in here. February, we had 3 in a row, a win. So look, when you win 3, you lose 1. You win 3, you lose 2 in a row and you're still in profit. You win 3, you lose 1. You win 3, you lose 2, you're still in profit. You lose 1.5. It's just it's a really beautiful system right now. I'm really digging it. A 3 winner. There's a couple, there's days in here when you don't take trades because you follow the rules, or it doesn't get triggered in. You set an order and it doesn't get triggered. So it's one or the other. I started in January on the 9th. I just left off the first bit of January because I don't ever trade the first bit of January. So I started like in the second week of January, somewhere around there. The 12th, I think. Yeah. Actually, I think I started on the 9th. This is a Monday, but it didn't get triggered in on Monday and Tuesday. And then you've got, there you go. So here's an instance where you closed it out at 2 p.m. and you still made a 1R. You made a 1.5R, a 1.9R, a 0.9, almost a break even, But typically, if it's in profit, this one is a complete break even right there. You can see that, but I really, 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 really like this system. You can see you're taking on average, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 12 trades a month in January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 16 in February, 16 again in 16 to 17 in March, and maybe not quite as many in April. So it's not every day. The plan doesn't give you a trade every single day. You do get an opportunity to take a trade every single day, but you're not necessarily going to get triggered in every single day. But there is an opportunity. I promise you, you're going to set an order every single day. It's that mechanical. Except if there's red folder news days. And some of these, this specific system, I did not take out red folder news. I'm trading. So I'm basically going through and saying, I don't care about red folder news. I'm going to follow the rules, set my orders, news or not. So some of these wins might be getting taken out, and some of these losses it'll probably be a wash on the end. I do know there was a couple that got slapped because of news, and I know there's a couple wins that got hit aggressively because of news. So I'm not sure if I want to keep the news in or not, but I'm going to do a whole nother system where I take the news completely out and then go back and refine and see how that changes things. But overall, very, very happy with how this strategy is being built out. Look at that equity curve. 72% gain. 72%. This is January, February, March, and April. 4 months. 4 months, a 54% win rate, a 72% gain. And I can't fake this, y'all. Like this is the actual live data from FX Replay. Here you go. Here's the profits per month. January, 17.5%, February, 14.5%, March, 18.8%, April, 8%. Worst month so far is April with an 8% profit. Only trading New York. That's it. Only trading New York. So, year to date, 72% profit. Completely rule-based mechanical strategy. And I need to tweak. I just need to tweak a couple more things. Now, look, do I expect to make 72% in the live market? No, I do not. This is what I tell you about backtesting. People get so geeked up about backtesting and they get so fired up about what they've found or what they've uncovered, right? Their holy grail. And it does not work like that in live markets. Now, this one, I have a little bit more confidence that it can replicate fairly similar results in a live market because it is almost 100% mechanical. Every single day, you're going to do the same damn thing. And if there's very simple rules to follow, about 3 to 4 rules to follow. That's it. Maybe, I don't know, I need to go back and look, but it's about 3 to 4 rules to follow. You set your orders and then you do nothing. You don't move to break even. You don't do anything. You enter the trade. The only thing you do is if the trade is still open at 2 p.m. New York Eastern time, you close the trade wherever it is. That's the only trade management there is. That's it. You don't move to break even. You get in the trade and then you just close the chart and then you set an alarm at 2 p.m. and you go back in and if it's open, you close it. Or you go back in and you see that it's hit a stop loss or a take profit. That's it. You don't watch it. You don't do anything. You set it. You walk away for the rest of the day until 2 p.m. New York time. And then you close it at 2 p.m. That's it. That's all you do. I'm trying to give the most simple system that I possibly can to remove as much discretion as I can in a purely mechanical way. And, I mean, it looks really, really good. It looks really good. Kind of happy about it. And I'm very close to taking it to the live market. I think I'm going to buy a challenge. I might buy a challenge next week and run this on it to see how it goes and keep you guys updated. I'm not ready to just completely let it out of the bag yet. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that would like this if they had this tool set in their trading arsenal. So I mean, pretty damn good if you ask me. Pretty damn good if you ask me. Anyway, all right, let's get off of that. Let's get back to the charts here. Let me jump over to the chat and say good morning to some people. H, good morning. John, Cisco, Mr. Alfie, Corey, Saeem, good evening. Beeswax, what's up? Emmanuel, hello. George Tucker, what's up? Trading Night, how's that challenge going, buddy? Alpha Bridge. Cisco, exciting news. You're going to put it in Discord when you're happy. I definitely will. Yes, I definitely will put it in Discord. I will give it to everyone. I will give it to everyone for sure. Would love to learn about your new strategy. Yes, sir. Adrian, good morning. David Dreams, good morning. Cisco, are you taking out red folder days from backtest? I will go back and refine and take out. I don't think I'm going to take out every red folder news day, but I probably will take out like NFP, CPI, interest rate decision. I'll take out the big mamas, but I'm probably not going to take out like manufacturing, retail sales, housing, flash P, that stuff. Because let's be honest, quite honestly, you need the news volatility. I need some of the volatility that news brings to be able to operate this strategy. So some of the big ones, I'm going to go back and take out, the very aggressive movers. I'll go take out and go back. But yes, will this work on all pairs or is it just for specific pair? I don't know. I don't know yet. It will probably be so this was euro dollar. What you were just looking at was euro dollar. My guess is I need to test it, but I haven't tested it on pound dollar, but I'm guessing it will work on pound dollar. But beyond those two, I don't know. I will have to go back and retest. But maybe what I'll do is just test those two, give the strategy and the rules to you guys, and you can go back test yourself on different pairs to see if there's a way it works, if it works. In my experience, mechanical strategies usually have a lot more problems on Friday. There's generally a lot more factory in the markets on Friday. A lot more discretion is required. It could be that there were so many, like when I take out the red folder news events on Friday, maybe Friday cleans up because Friday there are the big poppers. And so maybe if I clean up and take those out, I'm going to try and finish some of this up today. I've been working on this, guys. How long? I was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I told you about this. And I've just been refining. And now I've gotten it down to, when I first started, I was excited and things just started falling apart. I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. Let's go back. Okay, this isn't going to work. Let's go back. Okay, this isn't going to work. Let's go back. And now here we are. And damn it, I'm very close. I think we're pretty close. And it may not even be, it may be what I'm doing. Somebody else has probably done this. In fact, I know there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. There's no new trading strategy out there. It's like music, right? I'm a musician. It's like music. When you're writing songs, there's no new melodies. There's no new tunes. There's no new chord structure. There's no new rhythms. It's just all, you're copying someone at some point. So even if I bring this to you, I swear to God, someone's going to go, oh, that's just XYZ strategy from such and such mentor from 1992. It probably is. I'm not that smart to come up with something completely uniquely original to Venator. Now, I have done my own homework on this. This is all me. I haven't looked anywhere. I haven't gone to anyone. It's just me on FX Replay going back over and over and over until I find my rule set that works. It's probably very similar to someone else's. So I you know, when you see it, you're probably going to go, oh, that's just this strategy. I've done that before. Okay, cool. I don't know that you've had the success I have had with it, but I don't know. It is, but I like it. I like it. It's very simple. It's very simple. You're going to look at it and go, oh my God, seriously? That's it. It's that simple. That's all you do. Just wait. Just wait. I think you're going to be shocked. I think most of you are going to be shocked at how stupidly simple this system is. It is not ICT based. Well, maybe, no. Well, kind of. Yeah, I know I've heard him talk about this before. I don't know that I've seen an in-depth video or like a specific like thread pulled out on this, but I swear to God. So there are some ICT concepts that I'm using to help me frame where I'm putting my stop loss and why, where my entry is and why. But it's not a fair value gap. It's not an optimal trade entry. It's not an order block. It's not an in-dog or in-wog. It's not a silver bullet. It's none of that. It's none of that. But there are some ICT concepts that help me frame where and when and why. Okay, I can give you that much. No daily bias needed. No daily bias needed. $72% in 4 months is crazy. It's insane. Matthew Hope, how's the challenge going? Have you taken inspiration from anyone for this new strategy you've been testing? I just talked about that just a minute ago. Sorry, I haven't seen all these comments. Sup, Brad? What's up, LOL? Entry time frame. Entry time frame is you set a limit order at the New York Open, 7 a.m. You set a limit order at 7 a.m. That's what you do. When are you going to give more details? Sounds really interesting. It's coming soon. Discord link on your pinned tweet is already expired. Need a new one. This is why I don't know how to do Discord. I didn't realize that the links expire. So, all right, let me, I can update that. I'm glad to know that someone tried to use it though. Week 1, day 4 on the stream. You were really providing gems here. Thanks. Ashok, welcome in. I'm glad you've stuck around, and I'm glad you're finding it helpful, my friend. Cisco, I look forward to coding it up today. So I do think you could code this. I think it's that simple. I think it could be coded. The more I think about it. This is the AMD strategy you spoke about before. No, it's not. So the AMD strategy, I could not get a clear set of rules. Like I kept adding more rules to it and it became overcomplicated. And I could not find a very simple way to refine the rules down to like just 3 to 4 rules and then keep it profitable above a 50% win rate, which is kind of always my target. I'm always trying to make sure that I can stay above a 50% win rate. And I could not. So I kept refining, but I started seeing things. The more you do something and the more you're working at it, the more you start to see and identify other patterns. And things started clicking when I saw these patterns about old things I heard ICT talk about in videos. And I began to be like, okay, wait, let me just try this. And then that's where it started. That's where the real rabbit hole started. It is super simple. EU and GU both are in my POI area, but can't enter because of news. I know it's so frustrating when you see price right where you want it to be, but you've got massive red folder news coming out and you can't do anything. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy being on the charts, hanging out with some fellow traders, my friend. Sorry, I was a bit late for the live. What strategy are we talking about? We're talking about a strategy that I have developed, and I hesitate to say I developed it because I swear to God, I know as soon as I post this strategy, someone's gonna say that's been done, and I know it probably has. I know it probably has. So you don't know how many songs I've written and then I play them for my wife or for a friend and they'll go, oh, that's the same exact melody for such and such a song. And I'm like, oh, shit. And you got to go back and you start over. So even if you think you're coming up with something original, probably most often than not, you're not. It's original to me in that I did the homework to discover someone else's system. Then I don't know. We'll say that. Let's say it like that. If the strategy relatively simple, that's always a good sign. To be honest, that means that's going to work on the live market. Mine's almost 6 years old and still works nicely on M1. Awesome. Casey, good morning. Did you catch UJ yesterday? No, I did not. UJ, I called out. Where was it? I called out a trade right here off of this breaker. Right here. I think it was maybe it was the 30-minute. I can't remember. And right here, we got swerved. We could have come down to almost 1 to 5. And then it came up and it would have, it was so late in the day, I almost didn't even call it. But we did, our entry was literally right above the high of this little candle right here. And it just didn't tap us in. And we could have gotten at least 1 to 1. Maybe, I don't know if we would have gotten to break even, but so late in the day. And then it did end up just trickling up the rest of the day there. So no trade on UJ yesterday. I did call that out and then called to cancel as well. So in Discord, both, and Twitter. So yesterday, we had this big pop up right back into this daily fair value gap. And like we have said on Monday, anytime we're coming back up inside of an old fair value gap that has been violated, we would expect price to find resistance. And that's exactly what we ran into yesterday. We had a big run up. We went all the way back into this fair value gap. And you can see since we have just completely collapsed back down. So we're starting to bounce between these two weekly fair value gap and this daily fair value gap. Maybe news today. We're also at the end of the month. And I have said it as we close out this month, if we don't close, if this body of this today is the last day of August. Thank you, Jesus. It's the last day of August. Woo! If we don't close, if this candle here, if the body of this candle does not close below this wick, then my eyes are going to go to this month's high as we go into September and October. That doesn't mean we won't come down first, put in a bottom wick, and then come up. But if we don't close and displace below this low, then I would anticipate euro dollar putting in a bottom wick and then heading for August high here. If today, like with news, if news comes out today and let's say we turn bearish on euro dollar here and we close below the body and we can close inside this weekly fair value gap, then I think we still continue lower. And I think September takes out this low down here. Before we see any kind of seasonal reversal and uptrend on euro dollar. So that's kind of how I'm thinking, but you go back and watch the stream since Monday. And I said, I wasn't anticipating lower prices. I did not think we would take out Friday's high. I thought we would just continue down into the draws on liquidity below us, but we have not. We've retraced. But I did say if we get above Friday's high, this daily fair value gap we would find resistance in here. So The question becomes, we now have a daily fair value gap right underneath us, right? We've taken out this swing high. We've displaced above it. We failed to displace above this high. As we come back down into this fair value gap, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Now, if we're going to go higher, this fair value gap will be respected. It will definitely be respected right here. You can see we've got sell side liquidity with a fair value gap. You've got a nice little order block. We've had a change of structure. We're making higher highs, higher lows on the 4-hour time frame. Weekly, daily, still bearish. 4-hour, 1 hour, 15-minute. Well, 4 hour and 1 hour, we're making higher highs and higher lows, right? We have grabbed sell side liquidity, and this daily fair value gap is pushing us back down towards this weekly fair value gap, which so far has held as support. This weekly fair value gap has held. We've come down into it. We cannot trade below it. The weekly order block over here has pushed price higher, but now we're just running into range-bound territory where we have two PD arrays wherein we are now engineering liquidity to buy side and sell side. In these environments, again, I'm still bullish on dollar. I'm still bullish on dollar. That has not changed. Even with this pullback, you're going to get a pullback, and it's pulled right back into this breaker block here. So we went up, we've come down, we displaced through. There is a tiny fair value gap right here, right there. There's a tiny little fair value gap on the weekly time frame inside this weekly breaker. So you have these two up close candles. These two up close candles, we run liquidity. We've stabbed into sell side, and then we immediately displace away. If this was a 15-minute time frame, we would be all over this trade, going higher. Displacement, fair value gap, entry, and we target 1 to 2, which would be up here around these relative equal highs. So still bullish for me on the dollar. Even though Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is Wednesday, yesterday, the low of the week, it's the low of the weekend. And now we have our reversal on Thursday and Friday. We leave behind a big wick for a weekly candle. Potentially, could be. So I'm still bearish. I still think these draws on liquidity, we ran right up to it and we've left it. And what did I say happens oftentimes when we run up to a liquidity and it doesn't just go right through it? If it leaves a little space, it's going to drop down, grab liquidity, and then bull run it. It's just going to tear right through it. So don't be surprised. I could be wrong. This fair value gap and volume imbalance could just act as resistance right here. We could tap right up into it and roll over again. But I'm still leaning bullish on the dollar. I'm still thinking that we tap into this strong liquidity here. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow. I mean, it could be. We could get news could push us up, pretty hard today. You got NFP tomorrow. Maybe it stabs up into it and then comes down. So hard to say, but we are closing out the month of August here on DXY as well. And you can see we're trying to close above that wick. If the body of the dollar closes above this wick, I would immediately assume we're reaching higher into September. If the dollar wants to seasonally relax through the fall, I would still anticipate these getting run in September before we roll over October, November, and so on. A lot of it just is news dependent right now. The news definitely, while we don't trade news fundamentally, we do wait for it to pass because it will often trigger longer term tendencies and trends once it grabs significant liquidity. So that's what I'm watching and still anticipating. And, we'll just wait and see. This could just be a quick stab down into sell side liquidity, and then we continue to run higher, which so far overnight we gapped down and then we've just been bull running. So we didn't take out Thursday's low. We're reaching our Wednesday's low. So You know, you've got a Tuesday high and a Wednesday low. So which way is the market going to go? It's kind of hard to say at this point. But I'm still leaning bullish, and I'm gonna stick with that. Like I said, until we got, I think I said this yesterday or Tuesday, I can't remember. Until we get displacement below this low, I'm not gonna switch my bias, and we did not get that yesterday. At one point, this candle, this down close candle, the body of that candle was all the way down here. And if it had closed down here, that would have been displacement below this low, and I probably would have changed my bias. But I said, if you don't get displacement below this low, this is just a liquidity run until you get displacement below here. So stabbing into it, basically reaching back down into this day, almost to this daily fair value gap, inverted daily fair value gap to push price higher. That's why I'm sticking with my my bullish bias. So we'll see what happens. You know, until the news hits in about an hour or so, we'll just look at the charts and anticipate or talk through analysis and why we're doing what we're doing. This is GU on the daily time frame. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We had a Wednesday high. Is the high of the week in on Wednesday. We're still in a bearish downtrend. PD arrays are being respected. This order block, we tapped right back up into this daily order block, and we're falling away. This is an OTE entry, order block, volume imbalance. It all perfectly lined up. If you had your eye at this order block with this volume imbalance, you could have had a really nice entry on GU if that's a system you trade. But now that you're putting in, if today we leave this swing high right here, then Friday and going into next week, you would anticipate last week's low getting run, Friday's low getting run. And that may happen today or tomorrow, depending on news and NFP. So the monthly time frame on GU, you can see downtrend, break of structure. We've pulled back up into this monthly fair value gap. This is why price is fractal. All of these PD arrays work. You can see the low of this month. This is December of 21. The wick, the low of this month is 31600. The high of July 2023 is 31418. So right here, the high of this candle almost wicking into the low of this order block, this monthly order block right here. Bam, come down. We get right up into, we completely go all the way through this fair value gap. It respects it, wicks through it, and comes back down. And since we've pushed away, if this monthly candle on GU, same scenario, if this monthly candle closes below the wick of this candle, my bias going into September initially is to take out the GU low, or the low on GU here on this monthly candle. If we do not close below this wick low, my bias would be the high of this candle of August. That's where I would look for price to tap into. So that's a very simple, very simple way to look at your bias is, did you displace and close below the previous candle's high or low? If you did, you can anticipate that it's going to continue to take out lows as you go. If it did not, you would anticipate a very simple, it's a very simplistic way to determine your daily, monthly, weekly bias. So still sitting there waiting to see what we're going to do. On the 4-hour time frame here on GU, you can see we're pulling back in. We've had a break of structure. We're pulling back into this fair value gap. While we're bearish on the daily, you do have some nice buy-side liquidity there. You still have all of your draws on liquidity below here, but You're pulling back into this fair value gap. Until it violates this 4-hour fair value gap, you could say you're bullish here if you're just using the 4-hour time frame. Excuse me. So we'll just wait and see. There's no super clear direction on we're going to wait for news, I guess is what I should say. We're going to wait for the news to hit and then see if we get liquidity runs and displacement in the opposite direction. That's what we're waiting for. Till then, not much to look out. GJ is coming back down into yesterday's breaker. So we identified this yesterday on the stream. We had said if we get displacement through here, we would anticipate an entry down in this fair value gap. I don't know if anybody's taken this or what, but this was identified yesterday on the stream. I just left it up all day. So we put this in, and the stream entered here. This was where we were all yesterday on the stream. And I said if price came back down, that could be a nice. It did come up, grab some buy side liquidity. I would have these buy side liquidity targets higher. Not to say that the pound won't fall here even further, but we'll watch and wait. That's just a point of interest for me to see how that breaker plays out. UJ just range bound. Not a whole lot. The only thing we have is we're in a range. We've grabbed sell side liquidity. We ran higher. We grabbed buy side, and now we're right back in this range. So this is just a seek and destroy profile. We don't know which way UJ wants to go. It's neutral. It's engineered liquidity. Grab some sell side, grab some buy side. We're right back in. So it's not let bulls or bears have an opportunity to catch a bigger move here. So it could just grab both sides again. It could just tag along through here. But we're going to wait on UJ. There's not much more here to see right now. US 30 yesterday obviously had a big pump up. We've been since tapping into this BPR last week. This BPR, this balanced price range, these are two overlapping fair value gaps. They are powerful magnets to price, and they will often give you a very strong reaction off of them once they're balanced. You come down, you balance it out, and you've just seen this massive run up. This fair value gap has failed to do anything. It got traded through again, but what it does is it's left more BPRs back up under here. Be interested to see how price responds to this order block. We're right inside the wick of it now here on US 30, and you do have a nice little fair value gap right up in here off of this order block. So we'll see how the indexes want to react into these levels here. But aggressively trading through this fair value gap all the way down into the BPR, reaction off of it. We had this identified last week. We'd go back and watch last week's stream. We drew this out and we said this was our draw on liquidity as price was up here on Wednesday of last week. We had said this is where we're heading, into this BPR. And then once we hit it, bam, we've just shot up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Very interesting. I'm going to head back over to EU here and see what we see. Not much going on. Again, no good setups here to try to get into right now. We have news that comes out at 8:30. We've got the personal spending, the personal income, and the core price index. All of these are month-over-month data. Don't know if I don't know what kind of reaction it's going to give, but we'll see. And then tomorrow, of course, you've got the unemployment rate and non-farm payrolls at 8:30. And you've got manufacturing, which that doesn't bother me at 10 o'clock. I will trade through that. but the non-farm payrolls are definitely where we will get some movement one way or the other. One way or the other, we'll get some movement. The London Silver Bullet setup was a nice one today, but entry was just outside the SB hour. I don't know what the Silver Bullet rules are. I am only aware of it because it's so popular on Twitter and I hear people talk about it all the time. What's up, Daz? Alpha Bridge, I think dollar Swiss and dollar CAD has still work to do on the buy side, so the dollar's still bullish. I would agree with you. I think even without even looking at those, I think the dollar is still has some bullish ground to take back. Might change my system to target a set risk reward. Seems like a lot less stress and less decisions to make overall. Ben, I would highly, highly encourage you to do that. Highly encourage you to do that. It really does remove a ton of stress. And this is how I say it. I say it all the time. The low-hanging fruit is so easy to grab and to eat, and it tastes just as sweet as the fruit at the top of the tree. And you don't have to climb all the way up there to get it. You can just reach up, grab it, eat it, be done with your day. It's so less stressful. You make consistent profits. And in the end, if you are a partial taking trader, like if you're taking partials, my guess is you're probably going to see that in the end, your probably overall risk reward ratio is just above a 1-to-2 anyway. And it's worth giving up in a small little extra R to have a better confident mindset in psychology and to see that consistent equity curve up and to the right. So just keep that. I would highly encourage you, man. 1-to-2, 50% win rate, you will get rich. 1-to-2, 50% win rate. That's all you need. You don't even need 50%. 45% win rate on a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. You're in profit. You're going to be making good money. So, and 1-to-3, like that strategy I was showing you early, a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio with a 55% profit, or 54, I'm sorry, it's 54% win rate. Mother. Shanghai says, I'm doing a lot the same because a lot of losers. If I had a 1-to-2, I smashed the funding challenge. I promise you guys, go to 1-to-2. Go to 1-to-2. Move to break even at 1-to-0.25 or 1.5. Move to break even. And then just take everything off at 1-to-2. It does not matter what happens. It does not matter how far price runs after you just take your profit. You're not there to capture every pip of every move. You're just there to take a little bite out of the market and then get out. And then come back tomorrow, wait, take another little bite out of the market and then get out. That's it. That's all you got to do. Don't try to hit home runs and grand slams every single time you step up to the plate. A bunt single is just fine. There are plenty of guys in the Hall of Fame who are there because they have 2,000 hits, 3,000 hits in their career. And they were not power hitters. They were just great contact hitters. They just got up there, put a simple swing on the ball, base hit. They lived like kings because they could just get base hit after base hit after base hit after base hit. That's it. Good morning, Michael Dowell. 1-to-2, 1-to-3 works like a charm, though, this week. Siam, you've had a pretty rough week, man, with the break-evens. But, dude, you've been your executions have been on point. So you should be very proud. You're when you go back and evaluate this week, it is an A+ winning week. Your profit and loss may not show it, but that's not how you evaluate whether you had a good week or not. You evaluate whether you had a good week or not based on, did you follow your rules? Did you execute when there was an A+ setup? If you did those things, it's a successful week. It does not matter what your profit and loss says. If you executed your strategy exactly the way that your rule set says you should do it, that was a successful trading week. You don't care about the last 4 or 5 trades. You care about the next 100 trades. That's where the statistics and probabilities are going to play out in your favor. That's where your edge in the market will show up. And it only happens and stays sharp. Your edge is only sharp if you execute your strategy, keep your rules, don't break them, follow them as religiously as possible. Y'all go ahead and if you haven't yet, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button. That would be very helpful for me and the stream. It does push it out, guys like Casey, who just found us this week and had no idea we were here. It helps the algorithm push it out to viewers who might be needing some help and inspiration as well to know how to get over the hump. So I think we're up to about 15 likes or so. So you guys make sure you click that like button. At least it says it's 15 on my end. I don't know. I do need to go update the excuse me. Sorry, I don't mean to cough in the mic like that. If you're not part of the Discord yet, there is the link, and I need to go over to my tweet. And I don't know if I can edit my... Can I edit the pinned tweet? No. I just have to make a new one. I'll just have to make a new one here. So, why do the invites expire? I don't understand that. That's weird. I mean, it should just be a link to your Discord. Why does the link change to your Discord to join? That's weird. I'll send that, and then I can pin to your profile. And then I should be able to go to my profile here, and yeah, that should be the new one. There we go. All right, so we don't really have much more to do here today, and we've got 30 minutes. John, what kind of trash can you get us into today while we're waiting on news? I'm sure there's something up your sleeve. Mr. Hang Dong, I know you're in here. I'm happy as I made 7% in August with the order block, 7% in August in 15 days. I'm more than happy. That's awesome, Siam. Very, very, very awesome. H, you can change the settings of the invite link to never expire. Oh, just below the invite link, you have edit invite link. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me maybe go do that. Server settings? I don't... Edit invite link. Oh, no time limit. Jeez. I'll do it for the next one. That one's going to expire. I don't want to repost. But thank you, H. Appreciate your help with that. And Corey. I guess I'm the heel now. You're not the heel, but you do often provide the the fly in the ointment sometimes. Yeah, John, we all love you. Even if you are from Kansas City and can't get over all of the overrated biases you carry about food and such, it's okay. What's up, Fritz? Bullish or bearish on EU? Well, I'm still bullish on dollar, which means I'm still bearish on EU. But I'll say this: EU has been way stronger than the dollar has been weaker. So if you look on DXY here, DXY looks bullish to me. You've had a pullback, you've taken out sell side liquidity, and you're getting an aggressive reaction away from this currently. So if you get follow through today and tomorrow, I'm still bullish dollar. Euro, you grabbed a buy side liquidity and an aggressive reaction away. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get down to this fair value gap here. But we could not take out yesterday's high. We opened, we pushed up. We couldn't take out Wednesday's high. Part of me feels like this is the high of the week, but hard to say. I definitely am still bearish. So we'll see what happens. If we get, some strong displacement after the news, you might have some some breaker blocks here. If you get a push up and then break through, you might have, we'll just have to wait and see. I think overall I'm still bearish. Like I said, not that can't change, but I need to see some displacement on the higher time frames for me to switch my higher time frame draw on liquidity. So my anticipation for this week was not to come up this high into this buy side. So my analysis was completely off on the higher time frame draw on liquidity. I thought we would stay below Friday's low. I thought we would come up into it and then just continue lower. And I was completely wrong. We left behind these relative equal lows and just took off. So I'm still anticipating some lower price action here. It doesn't mean news doesn't pop up and then we displace lower from there, but we'll just watch and wait. That's kind of where I'm at. Hot take: CJ Stroud is only good with a good offensive line, therefore he's going to tank with the Texans. Well, I mean, he's number one, he's a rookie. So there are very, very few rookies that can step up into the pros and just have instant success. And I don't think right now that CJ Stroud is one of those generational once in a lifetime talents. Now he might pan out to be, but we'll see. Here's the things I like about CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is the new quarterback for the Houston Texans. For all of you people who don't follow American football, the Texans have been absolute trash. I mean, absolute dumpster fire for like 5 years. Their former head coach just destroyed this team. They made him the general manager, which was the absolute worst decision in the world. Ownership has completely tanked this team. They've just destroyed it. It's just horrible. And finally, in the last couple of years, we're finally starting to turn the corner, it looks like, a little bit, and get back to some semblance of a professional football team. And we started that by drafting CJ Stroud out of Ohio State University. He was the quarterback for Ohio State. He's raw, but here's the thing: is that he's an athlete, and I would prefer to have an athlete at quarterback than a statue at quarterback. If he can show the intelligence it takes to be able to operate at the professional level in the quarterback position, and you can and he already has the athletic ability to go along with it, then you're set up for a good run. If he's an athlete, but he cannot get the intelligent decision-making abilities, those quick-fire, rapid decision-making abilities that you have to have instantaneously almost at that level, if he cannot marry that with his athletic ability, it's going to be a complete waste of time. Their O-line is not the best in the world. I will agree with you. But it's TBD. If they can go 500 this year, massive win for this organization. I think that should be their goal this year. Be a 500 football team. If they can be 500, the city of Houston would be absolutely ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Or even close to 500. 7-10, 8-9. That's a 17-game season now, I think. So it's not a true 8-8, but 8-9, something like that. 9-8. If they have a winning season, God forbid, this city will go absolutely nuts. But if they just win 2 games again this year, I don't know what to think. I mean, the potential is there for them to be a trash football team again this year. Absolutely. But we'll see. I think there's some hopeful optimism in Houston right now for them. I think everyone's expectations are pretty much tempered to, cool, we're excited to watch them play. We're excited to see our new quarterback get out there. We know he's probably going to suck at times, like absolutely just be trash on the field. He's going to make stupid decisions. Every rookie does. And I think we're willing to live through that if it means that 2 years from now or 3 years from now, we've made progress and we're close to getting back to playoffs. So, everyone's super excited to have D'Amico Ryans back as a head coach. He was a beloved player here for a very long time. He's had great success as a defensive coordinator at other clubs. So, we're definitely not like, we know who we are. We know that we're trash. We know we're trash. And everyone here hates Bill O'Brien. Absolutely hates Bill O'Brien for what he did. He set this club back a decade. And it's just an absolute waste of a coach and a manager. I mean, just absolute waste. How do you feel about the breaker on EU? I feel like it's too far down with all the liquidity above from earlier today. Yeah, I would definitely not be wanting to get into this breaker. If you're looking at wanting to get into this breaker, there's so many fair value gaps back up in here. I would just wait for news. There's nothing that I would want to get involved with or anticipate some kind of entry. Gosh. All this junk in my throat. Don't think I told you what the surprise was my wife planned for my birthday. Oh, yeah, Mr. Alfie, your birthday weekend was last weekend. We did air rifle target shooting, followed by knife and axe throwing. That sounds freaking awesome. We have a axe throwing. It's called Axe Masters. It's pretty cool. It's like bowling, but with axes. Basically, you have all these lanes with these huge wooden targets on the wall, and you get axes and you just chunk them. Been there a couple times. That's a fun time, man. That's a pretty cool surprise. And then I took her and my son to watch a round of the British Superbike Championship on Bank Holiday. Oh, that's cool. Where did the Superbike? I don't know much about Superbike. I'm going to have to Google that. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. That's where they basically lay the motorcycles on the ground when they're taking the turns. That's cool. The premier domestic superbike racing series in the world. I like riding motorcycles. I would never do that. I would never do that. Jordan Love is a rookie and will do just fine. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I mean, but that's not the first time we've had our disagreements here about sports. Gosh, the only thing John and I agree about on sports is that soccer should be called soccer, not football. Do you think soccer will ever become a major sport in the States? It already is a major sport in the States. I mean, it's just that mainstream media doesn't talk about it. The MLS is growing extremely rapidly. When you look at all of the games, most stadiums are packed out. It's just, it does not have the financial backing and it does not have the cultural support yet. But it is growing rapidly, and it's the biggest sport in the world. We would be idiots not to recognize the reality that soccer is the biggest sport in the world. There's more people that play soccer. There's more money in soccer than anything else. And I just don't necessarily enjoy, me personally, I have not come to a place where I enjoy watching soccer. And that's just a completely cultural thing. It really is. But there are more and more people that are getting on that bandwagon, and it probably will eventually reach a tipping point where soccer becomes as competitive with American football and baseball, the NBA. Your three big ones in the States are football, basketball, baseball. Hockey is in there. Hockey and soccer are probably close to the same. Hockey's probably a little bit more accepted in the States only because it's just, I think, been here longer. Hockey is nowhere else, I don't think. I don't think the other countries in the world are really big into hockey, but with Canada being so close, it's huge there, and it's slowly taken over the States. I'm not a huge hockey fan. I do enjoy watching it more than I enjoy watching soccer. It's more fast-paced. It's more violent. It's just more entertaining to me than soccer is. But gosh, my allergies right now are killing me, y'all. My nose, I can't breathe. I got junk in my throat. I'm coughing all over the mic. I apologize for sounding and acting this way, but I know it's got to be frustrating listening to a dude just clear his throat 5,000 times a morning. So CJ Stroud has had so many hits to the head, he now all of a sudden loves books, not to read, but to rip the pages out and wipe his... John. If track racing scares you, try watching the Isle of Man TT races for proper scary bike racing. I'll definitely have to go look at that. That is, those guys are on a different level of thrill seeking and adrenaline rush. I heard soccer will never take off in the US because you guys can't go 45 minutes without an advert. That is probably one reason why the mainstream media won't push soccer, is because there's no advertising money. You're probably absolutely right. Capitalism will not allow soccer to take off. You're probably 100% right. It's called football, amigo. No. It's not. We're not getting into that. We're not going into those waters again. We already have had that discussion. That question has been asked and answered. This is an American stream, so it's called soccer, buddy. Christian B, hello. What's up, man? I'm not sure if I've seen you in, but welcome to the stream, and thanks for jumping in the chat. We're just waiting for news. We're into the 8 o'clock hour here, and we're just chilling. We're just chilling. Nothing else happening. Nothing else happening. USA. Here we go. There's Patriot John. This would be an interesting poll. What do the non-USA viewers want to happen in the 2024 presidential election? What does the rest of the world hope happens in the 2024 presidential election? I would love to hear that in the chat. All of you non-USA, non-stateside people, who do you hope wins the presidential election in 2024? Ben A says, hopefully the dollar can pump on news for the sake of my GU short. Oh, man, if you're in a short right now, I hope you're going to be moving to break even soon with this news coming out. Daz says Trump, Galaxy Trump, or Kennedy. Kennedy's interesting. But Trump can bring back the economy. Trading night. Honestly, as you Americans want to vote, do not change my life. Someone who's not on their deathbed. Why do we have geriatrics running the world? I don't understand this. Someone explain to me. Did you guys see the video clip from the Senate Majority Leader, McConnell? Just completely locking up again at an interview. It's the second time in like a few weeks that dude has had to, like, his aides have had to come like get him off and get him out in front of the cameras because he just goes into the deer in the headlights stare. It's so embarrassing. Why are these guys allowed to stay in office? The mental capacity is obviously completely gone. It's infuriating to see. It's like there are better options. Why do we continue to let these people stay in control? Like, go sit in your mansion and play golf, like, or drink tea or do a puzzle or work on some brain games so that you don't just continue to deteriorate or something, man. Like, oh, it's so frustrating to see when that happens. Anyone but Trump, says Mr. Alfie. The entire world would benefit if Biden wasn't reelected. Ashok, Brad for president. I do not want that job. No, thank you. Saeem says Trump. Cisco, can't say I know who's running. Well, it looks like Trump is probably going to be the Republican nominee. That's TBD, of course. But everything is pointing that Trump will be the Republican nominee. And so far, Biden has said he's running for re-election. I think the Democrats are not going to allow that. I don't see how they can put that guy back up for another term. I really don't. His age, I think they would be in trouble if they tried to run him again. I'm tired of living in a geriocracy. Dude, that is a great coin. You need to go trademark that, John. I'm tweeting that out. I'm stealing it. Do you think Texas will ever become a blue state? Oh, for sure. It's probably more purple right now than anything. There's so many transplants and migrations from other of these liberal states. I definitely think it has the potential to flip blue. The more and more people that flee the hellholes of the liberal states that they've become from taxation and just poor social policy, then yeah, I definitely think you could see Texas becoming blue. It's definitely more purple right now. It's not deep red for sure. The cities in Texas are very liberal now with all the tech jobs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, we have a great economy here. If Texas was its own nation, I think I saw a stat that said if Texas was its own nation, it would have like the 5th or 6th largest GDP in the world instantly from day one. We have the natural resources, we have the business resources, we have the human resources. We have low taxation. It's just set up so well for We have a very, relative to the rest of the country, we have a very low cost of living for housing and everything else. So that's why people are flocking here and to Florida. Very similar situation. But yes, I do think that just sets itself up to become, I think a lot of these people show up and just start voting the way they were voting in those other states to turn them into hellholes. And Texas eventually turns into its own version of a hellhole at some point. I don't vote for them, Cisco, just to be clear. I do not vote for geriatric people. If you're over 70 years old, you're not getting my vote. That's a rule I have. You need to go away. I'm not voting for you if you're over 70 years old. And yes, that means I'm not voting for Trump. He's, what is he, like almost 80 years old? He's got to be like 75, something like that. I don't care how sharp he is. He's too old. I'm not a fan of Trump, but I think for many reasons he's needed. I also am not a fan of Trump. I'm also not a fan of Biden. I think if those are the two best options we have, the world is screwed. Why are they the two best options we have? I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. Ideally, Trump and Kennedy should come together so that Trump can fix the economy and Kennedy can focus on well-being of the people. I like Kennedy too, man. I've heard a lot of good stuff he said. Okay, gonna give me credit. Maybe. People are gonna ask, hey, where did you come up with that? Oh, John Hangdong. You know John Hangdong? He came up with it. This guy seems switched on Vivek Ramaswamy. Ramaswamy, very interesting candidate. Do like a lot of things that he has to say, a lot of his policies. I like a lot of things Kennedy says. It's going to be really interesting to see. I don't think either one of them have a chance to. I think both of them are vying for administration positions at this point. I think both of them realize I don't have a chance to win this, so I'm going to position myself in a position where I can gain as much momentum and love from people as I can, so that the administration has to give me a position so that in the future I can make another stab at this. I think that's kind of their plan right now. I would actually hold my nose and vote for Trump if Kennedy was his VP. John Jones, yes, they really need to come together for the greater good. The houses are awesome too. Yeah. Have you watched Casper's Silver Bullet Strat? What do you think about it? I have not watched Casper's Silver Bullet Strategy. So I have no comment. I do like Casper, though. Casper's a great trader, puts out great content. Highly recommend him as a follow. He has a private community, though, so you got to pay. Unlike Venator, free. Come on, Daz. There's room for you here in Texas, buddy. Chuck Norris for president, the most Texan actor possible. Chuck would fix everything. Chuck would definitely fix everything. Although I could not vote for Chuck, it would go against my don't vote for anyone over 70 years old rule. I don't know how old Chuck is, but I guarantee you he's over 70 years old. Bene, I love how passionate Americans are about politics, though you guys go crazy for it. I am not super passionate about politics. Honestly, I'm not. I don't think the government is here. Here's how I feel. I don't think the government is here to help us. I don't care what country you live in. None of the governments are here to help you. They're here to stay in power. Every single one of them across the world, they want to stay in power. So whatever it is that they need to say, whatever they need to promise, whatever they need to do, whatever they need to manipulate, they're going to do all of those things to stay in power. It's too big and too corrupt across the globe, there is not one government across this world that just doesn't want, that they actually truly want to care and help. They want to stay in power. And if you believe anything else than that, you are completely naive and misguided. They want to stay in power. So if you are voting for something, you are voting for the lesser of two evils in every single case. I'm a very, very optimistic person, except when it comes to politics. I am not optimistic at all. We are here to fend for ourselves, and we get to choose. In most instances, we get to choose our hard. We get to choose our consequences. So that's really what voting is we get to pick our consequence. We get to choose our hard. We get to choose how it's going to suck for us. That's what voting is all about. How is this going to suck for me less? I'm going to vote for that guy, because I promise you, not a single one of them. I'm not talking personally politician to politician. I think there are probably some politicians that truly are in it thinking that they can change and that they can fight for the little guy. But then when they get there, they understand the machine is too big. It's too big. You cannot change it. It's too far gone. And then they leave and they go do something else. They go get a private sector job and realize, I'm just going to capitulate. This is not going to change. So that's my pessimistic view. That's about the most pessimistic thing I have view on the world, is that politics suck. And that people are just trying to stay in power. That's all they're trying to do. Both sides. Having policies is one thing, but implementing them when they get elected is something else. Yep. Regarding Trump, the world is going to shite, and I don't see any of the other candidates with the balls to stand up for what's right, not to mention the economy would have a boost with him at the helm. I do not disagree with you about some of how Trump thinks and some of his policies. He's just over the age limit, and he's also just not a good guy. He's just not a good guy. Siam, I just hope in my country, current president doesn't get elected again. She's here for 15 years. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, that's the other thing. There have got to be term limits. Otherwise, you just have a provisional monarchy or oligarchy or dictatorship, basically. You got to have term limits on these people. You have to. You need term limits. All of them need term limits. When you have one voice and one tone, we are freaking humans. And at this point, let's be honest. Anybody that's in there that long, does anybody really believe that Joe Biden is determining policy decisions for the United States of America right now? Hell no. There's not a single person out there that thinks Joe Biden is calling the shots on anything. Not a single person. Not one person believes that. At some point, when you reach that high of a level, there are very few people that truly wield the influence and power beyond the administrative state where they have that much influence and control. I'm clapping for that speech, Brad. The government doesn't care about you. It doesn't, man. They're going to tell you they do. And they're going to, it's just, here's a great analogy. Think of it like this. The governments are prop firms. They need your money to stay alive, but they're going to put just enough conditions on you that you have to fail for them to stay in business. But they're going to be your friend, and they're going to create just enough conditions to make it favorable and enticing enough for you to want to participate with them. But in the end, it's rigged for you to fail. How's that for an analogy? Governments and prop firms. Think about it like that. That's exactly how governments work. We're going to be cool. We're going to tell you we're going to do this. We're going to give you this privilege. We're going to make these conditions. Isn't this so awesome? Oh, yeah, but only 10% of you are ever going to make any money with this. That's basically how American politics works. Well, that's probably basically how a lot of governments across the world work. 100%. I agree. Choosing the vote is either do I rip my teeth out or I chop off my hand. Yeah, that's exactly it. Do I want to poke out my eyes or do I want to cut out my tongue? Which one do I want to live with here? I think I would rather see, because I don't really need to talk that much. So I'd probably keep my eyes and cut out my tongue. You've seen the show called Scandal? I don't think I have. But all right, we've somehow figured out a way to kill time enough to get to the news. And now we can start looking for trades. Hey, what do you know? So nice to see here. We've got some engineered liquidity built up. We're on a lower time frame. We've had a change of structure on the 4 hour. All we've done is dip down into this order block. So we're just going to kind of wait and see if we can get a pop up and then displacement down. We might have a nice little breaker block set up here. If we get a pop down and displacement up, we might get a little breaker set up into these highs. So we'll just watch and wait. We'll see what the news gives us. Galaxy says, I see UJ setting up for a sell. Could be. It could be. I mean, we're just gonna hang out and see. This GJ trade from yesterday that we called out, slightly into profits here. GU also getting a little run on some buy-side liquidity here where we've been making higher highs and higher lows, but we've reached up and grabbed into this fair value gap. Maybe news drops it down, so we get a run, we get displacement, and then we get a pop back up. So we'll see. We'll see. I've gone long on GJ, says Cisco. Good luck on that trade, buddy. Just a couple more minutes here. So we've got the core price, personal income, and personal spending. We'll see what happens. I'm going to pull up my Forex Factory news and just get ready here. Not getting a ton of pre-news. A lot of times right before the news, you start seeing price really start popping around as people position themselves or get out of positions right before the news hits. So, but you're not really seeing that right now. 30 seconds before. Unemployment claims is probably what's going to be the big mover here. More than the spending and income. Here we go. Nothing just yet. There's a small drop down. So everything came in pretty much on target. Unemployment claims are 228. They were expecting 236, so they're slightly lower. That's probably going to be bearish for the dollar. If unemployment claims are going down or they're in line with estimates, personal income and spending are pretty much in line with everything. Core price index month over month, right in line with expectations. So not anything shocking here. There weren't any big misses on anything. Unemployment claims coming in lower. They were thinking 236. They came in at 228. That means there's more people working than, which kind of conflict with yesterday's numbers about new jobs, the ADP stuff and all that, the job claims. When there's fewer jobs being created, you would think the unemployment numbers would go up. But the unemployment numbers actually dropped, which means people took on more jobs. So those two numbers kind of slightly in conflict from yesterday to today. So we'll see how this wants to shake out. But currently, you're just getting not a huge volatile reaction here yet. I would anticipate a little weakness on the dollar with this news overall, I think. But again, my higher time frame bias is still bullish dollar. But there was nothing really that came out of those numbers that was incredibly shocking or really wanting to move things here. So getting a buy side run on liquidity right here. Again, if we can get some displacement lower and we find some dollar strength, we might have a setup here. But we're going to need to see some clear and defining displacement after you get a run on liquidity. This was the news candle, so this run on liquidity and displacement higher right here did leave behind a fair value gap, but because of the news, we wouldn't have taken that entry there to go long. We're going to need to see something else besides that. On the higher time frames, you can see this is just a pullback. It could pull back up in here into the London OTE and then drop away. NAS 100. Sorry, I'm just looking at this right now. NAS 100, been very bullish this week so far. We've been in kind of a retrace downtrend. We've broken structure. We've come back. We're making higher highs. So you're probably still more bullish short term here on the indices. You've had a run of liquidity, a small run of liquidity here. You haven't displaced above this high yet. You're going to need to see some displacement higher. It's leaving behind a little fair value gap there. If you want to get long, you're going to want to wait and see how this 15-minute candle closes. That's my personal opinion there. Aussie dollar, very range bound. We've been in a downtrend and now we're just moving sideways. You can see we're just doing this right here. We did grab some sell side liquidity and we're starting to displace higher. So you could put well, with this candle, it's taken out all the fair value gaps there on the news. So not much there either. Nothing super clean. US 30. Nothing really there either. Could just be a choppy day going into to finish out the month. We could just get some chop here and not get any real clear direction as we close the month out. And you have NFP tomorrow. So you could just see the market chop today. Just sit inside some of this range here that it carved out. We grab liquidity. We pop back down into it. You could just see some chop as we head into NFP for tomorrow. So we may not get any kind of displacement through the New York session today. New York may just chill, be super calm, and then Asia chill, London chill, and then you get NFP right here tomorrow. So just chop, engineer liquidity, and then NFP runs both sides and then heads off in a different direction to start off September. So could be that is very much in the cards for today. Corey, well, that was lame. We waited all that time. Corey was hoping that we would see something like that. He's like, come on, man. Give me the big green candle. That's what Corey was hoping for. And all we got was this little... That's all we got. Boring. Just don't forget where we're at. We're at the end of the month. It's the last day of the month. And you have NFP in 24 hours. So go back and look at the charts and see how often the market moves 24 hours before NFP. Go back and back test it. Go back and look. I'm guessing you're going to find that 24 hours before NFP hits, you get a lot of this right here. You just get, and then pair that with the close of the month. All of that together is just probably setting us up for choppy chop all day today. Oh my goodness. My EU short idea is currently playing out. Cool. Good to see that, Das. I gotta see what am I doing today? Pretty light day. I'm gonna stay on, I'll probably stay on till the top of the hour. And then we'll probably call it. Don't forget tomorrow we're doing the 10K account giveaway. It will be on the live stream. We will do it at 9 a.m. I have a post coming out later today, just letting everyone know about that. But that's coming out tomorrow. We will be giving someone else on the live stream a 10K two-step challenge account with bespoke funding. You do have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel. And then we'll probably just post a tweet or something that you have to retweet. That's how we've been doing it. We'll probably just stick with that. LOL. Let's go send a screenshot on Discord. Cool. Let's go look. We'll look at Daz's first, shall we? Here's Daz's setup on EU. So he's using this breaker block right here. Run on liquidity, displacement away, fair value gap. But he did not take this trade. This was just his trade idea. The news was coming out, and so he did not take it. And then we've got, on top of that, we've got LOL. Whoa, what the heck? There we go. LOL, this is euro dollar. You can see we've tapped up into higher time frame liquidity and we're pulling back down. We're inside that fair value gap right now. Price currently holding it up, so we'll see how this closes out. But currently respecting that 4-hour fair value gap. You can see it's drawn liquidity underneath these relative equal lows down here. So again, this is 4-hour time frame. Oh. Just not much to get excited about. Emmanuel, I think gold is about to drop. I don't even... Oh, God, why do you... Y'all keep talking about it. Let's go peek in the window. I hear the music thumping inside. The neon lights are flashing outside. Oh, God. Can't believe I'm doing this. Let me get rid of all this crap. I mean, you've had to change the structure here. You got a fair value gap below, very big, large fair value gap below. I cannot believe I'm looking at this right now. Weekly is bearish. We're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. You're going to need to see some confirmation here if you're going to make a lower high. August has, the month has shown massive rejection and failure to displace. So the monthly, obviously you're just in this massive range right here for the last couple of years. So, but August looks like it's closing extremely with rejection here. Grab liquidity, come right back up. As soon as you grab liquidity, you're coming right back up. We've tapped into this swing high. We failed to displace above it yesterday. We failed to take out yesterday's high. You do have fair value gaps below. This candle does have a teeny tiny little wick on it, but basically no candle, no wick almost. One hour is just ranging and getting choppy. Again, NFP in 24 hours. Don't expect any major moves here. Nothing interesting at the Gilded Gals for me right now. Nothing super interesting at the Gilded Gals. So I'm happy. I'm happy just walking out the door. And you know, I went over there, I checked it out. I was like, yeah, that was toxic. Oh yeah, now I see. There's nothing cool here. We can shut that down. No. What? I don't need it. Go away. Forward testing gives you so much more info than back testing. 100%, Daz. 100%. Forward testing is the best education you can get. Yes, it takes time to forward test. It takes time to gather the data. It is not a fast process, but it is the most valuable data you can have. The emotions, the mindset, the psychology, all of it. You cannot replicate that in a back test. Cannot do it. All right, y'all, I'm going to give this another 15 minutes. And then we're going to put this stream out of its misery. After we get off, if we happen to get some random displacement and we get a beautiful little setup, I'll call it out on Discord or in the live stream. That GJ trade moving pretty nice, though. Huh, Cisco? Pass that challenge, buddy. Let's go. Yeah, that's what I would... Basically, John, it's paper trading, but I mean, really what we're doing here, this is all paper trading. Every bit of this is paper trading. We're trading demo accounts. Even on these challenges, they're demo accounts. It's all paper trading. Cisco, was fun doing nothing again today. This is the stream of nothing. This is the absolutely, this is the stream of nothing. We're going to tune in and watch this guy not trade. 100%, that's what this stream is about, man. The do nothing trader. Brad handouts, Brad no trade. There's all kinds of nicknames you could go for. We got John Hangdong, Brad handouts, Brad no trade. I don't know. We need to get some other nicknames going. Corey OG. Corey's the OG. He's always in here. OG viewer. John says, I'm not, but maybe I might soon. This month's been my best month to date. I just got to find a prop firm I like. Bro, do you not see this? Bespoke, John. Bespoke. Daz would be at break even for the 2-to-1, but I'm testing 1-to-3, so still open. LOL, man, you're up on this NDQ thing, man. Let's go. Great setup on NDX. Is there really a great setup? I don't know that there is. It's grabbed sell side, it's grabbed buy side. There's nothing super clean and clear to me about this on NAS. And the other things with the NAS, all the indexes, I typically don't look for entries until after the 9:30 open. So that's in another 45 minutes ish, just under 45 minutes. We'll get the 9:30 open. So I don't like to look for US 30, S&P 500 or NAS 100 trades until after the 9:30 open, because oftentimes you get a pretty aggressive Judas swing right at the 9:30 open. To me, this look like a seek and destroy profile where you're just grabbing liquidity on both sides. So I understand why you think this could be a breaker right here and looking for a long. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take that trade. I'm not saying that it won't work. I'm just telling you, for me, I don't see anything good here, and I'm going to wait until after 9:30 to look at indexes. So that's all up to you, LOL. It needs to fit your trading plan and strategy, and if it does, you need to execute based on your own rule set. Philip says back testing is for building a strategy, forward testing is for proving it. Live trading is simply implement and stick to that test and proven strategy. Basically, that's a pretty good description, Philip. I would agree with most of that. Avishal says UJ, any views short bias? I don't know yet. I'm still kind of bullish dollar, which would UJ has been in a massive uptrend on the daily and the weekly, so I'm still carrying that bias until we get displacement below this swing low right here. I would not switch to a short-term bias, a short-term bearish bias on that. So because I'm still bullish dollar, I would still carry a bullish UJ as well. I know I called out a bear sell yesterday on UJ, but this is just ugly chop. There's nothing here. There's just nothing. This is not clean price action. When you see your A plus setup, you know it. When I see my A plus setup, I know exactly what it is. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to convince myself of it. I know exactly what I'm looking for. And I don't see it anywhere right now. It does not exist anywhere right now. If this candle were to displace lower here, like that, can I make that red just so y'all can see? Here we go. If this candle were to displace lower and leave behind this fair value gap, I might consider that for an entry short. But I'm guessing it's just going to chop. There's 8 minutes left on it. It shows no sign that it wants to displace anything. It shows that it just wants to chop. That's what it shows me. It's telling me what it wants to do right now. And it's nothing exciting. Care to look at oil? Sure, we can check you out. I always forget what the oil is. It's what's the symbol for oil? I know it's not just oil. It's I can never remember. Somebody put it in the chat. US oil. That's what it was. WTI. Rangy. We did get some displacement higher. We've came back into that fair value gap, which we noted last week. We've noticed this fair value gap a couple of weeks ago. Tapped into it last week and pulled away. We've taken out yesterday's high, or last week's high. Obvious strong liquidity is the swing level above you. On the daily time frame, we're trying to displace above this high. I mean, it looks like it just is pretty bullish to me. Tapped into this buy or sell side liquidity into this fair value gap. I noted this way back here. We looked at oil a while back. I can't remember where it was. But obviously tapped into the draws on liquidity and has since moved away. This is an old chart, so you can see how this is all played out. I mean, it's just running away. As far as a breaker setup goes, run on liquidity, displacement. Didn't really get back to 50%, but I mean, it did pull back into that area and it's just pulled away. I mean, it's just running higher and hotter. I don't know, John. It's just, obviously bullish. You have pretty clear draws on liquidity. It's not respecting any kind of bearish PD array. It's respecting all of the bullish price delivery. So whatever your strategy is for finding and entering with bullish price, then I would be looking for those opportunities, whether that's a run of liquidity and displacement for a breaker, whether that's an OTE, whether that's a fair value gap, whether that's premium discount, whatever that is, order blocks. I would continue just to try to trade the trend higher here on any kind of pullback I could get. I wouldn't chase price at this point and just try to get in. I would wait and see it come back to an order block or a fair value gap or a run of liquidity, displace, all those kinds of things. So it's just taken off and running pretty good. Well, I hope I did not bore you guys too much today. There was not anything super exciting going on anywhere on the charts. We do have the indexes still to go. They'll open in 30 minutes and we might get some setups there. But until then, I'm just gonna kill it. We're gonna let it go. So you guys enjoy the rest of your days. Stay safe. We'll be back on the stream tomorrow, September 1st. August is done. Thank you, Jesus. August is out of here. So you guys just continue to do what you do. Don't try to just get in there and push buttons. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be giving away our 10K account. So happy hunting. Stay safe. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Adios, y'all.